Hello, it's me, Laura Burns. Welcome back to my channel, or if you were here for the first time, jazz hands. Everybody gets them, whether they want them or not. Okay, we are here to finish up my exploration into Hungryroot to see, does it suck? Is it worth it? Basically, and I have so many things to tell you and show you. It has been 2 weeks since my original video, or 2 weeks as of right now when I'm filming this, since my original video about Hungryroot, where I unboxed it, showed you what was inside, and I think I walked you through the different pairings or suggested pairings that they had for all of the items. So in today's video, I'm going to first tell you the criteria with which I am judging all of this, and then I'm going to show you clips of me making. I think most of the meals I was able to either take a photo or a video. Most of it I got video on. And then I think only one thing I didn't get anything on it. And then at the end, I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about my criteria that we're judging it by. And then I'm going to do a comparison between Hungryroot and just the grocery store. And so I hope this is interesting to you. If so, please stay tuned. This video might be a little on the long side for this kind of a topic. But I have been very interested throughout this whole process to see how their food is, how easy it was to make, and then thinking, I went through phases like, oh, this is too expensive. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. Oh, I can get it cheaper at the grocery store. Oh, can I really? I don't know. So that's what we're doing here. Now I want to talk to you. I have my little notes here. The criteria with which I'm judging the Hungryroot food, and then also the grocery store food. I have 4 categories, and I'm going to put these on the screen when I show you each food item. The first one is, and this is the criteria that I have decided because this is what's important to me. Now you live a different life and you have different needs, and so your criteria might be different. This is mine. All right, so number 1 for me, I got Hungryroot as a convenience box. I've tried other cooking subscription boxes or whatever, food meal boxes, whatever you want to call them, and they've been good, but they require so much prep. It's like just as much as if I would have just made a meal from scratch myself. And so I really wanted something that was like, oh, this is what happens. We're too tired, or we don't have a lot of time, because we have to go somewhere, or because I taught and then I got home and I just need dinner to appear quickly. And so for me, convenience is the number 1. Food that is ready to cook very easily and quickly whenever I need it. And it turns out actually that lunches were a lot of the time when I made these meals, so that's interesting for me to note. I never thought of lunch for my lunch at home as being like, you know, one of the problematic things, but it is. So lunch and dinner, I learned. Okay, so ease/convenience. The second one is it satisfying, both in the portion size and also just like in the, like, is it toothsome? Does it fill my stomach? Does it like kind of, you know, satiate me? Because sometimes you can eat a big bowl of something and feel like you ate nothing. So is it satisfying / is the portion size good, especially considering we are 2 people and we are 2 people who like to eat. This is not a diet. Some people get Hungryroot for a diet. If that's you, that's cool. For me, this is not a diet. I don't want like a tiny portion. I want like a good ass portion so that I can be satisfied. So number 3 is taste. Is it good? Do I want to eat this stuff? And then number 4 is cost. And so I've already discussed the price in the first video, but the box that I got, I think, had 16 items. I don't know, they don't number them. I think it was 16 items and it was $100. So it's not cheap, that's for sure, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper than eating out for all of those meals. And so that's really where we're trying to save money, is every time we make this meal, in theory, it's keeping us from going out and spending $25, $30, 35, 40, depending on where we go, you know, eating out really adds up. So now you'll notice that cost is at the bottom of my list, and that's just personally for me where cost falls for this particular situation that we're talking about. Now other people, cost might be number one, and for other things that we buy in our lives, cost is number one. At other times in our lives, cost would definitely have been number one. I'm very lucky in this moment that cost gets to be number 4 on the list. So those are my categories. You'll see them on the screen as I go through the videos of each item that I made. I'm trying to be very thorough with this because I'm hoping that this will help someone like really figure out whether or not they want to try this, because it is expensive and I don't want you to waste your money on something that doesn't work for you, because that sucks. So if I can be, sorry, I'm like rattling stuff on my desk. So if I can be helpful, I would love to be helpful for you. So, okay, let's get into this. All the food, here we go. Okay, so I'm making my first Hungryroot meal using the butternut squash noodles. So I have just put them in a pan and with some olive oil. It just says to saute them for a few minutes, so that's all I'm doing. I've not felt well today, so I'm just trying to get something easy and simple. I'm going to cook these up, and I'm not going to use any of their sauces. I have some leftover chili that I made, and so I want to use that before I dig into any of their sauces. So I'm going to use their butternut squash noodles as my base, and then add my chili, and that is dinner. Very easy. I'm hoping great. I mean, I made the chili, so I know it's good. But yeah, and I've made butternut squash. Well, actually, I've never made butternut squash noodles before, so kind of excited about that. Anyway, I'll show you when it's all done. Okay, here's the finished product. It's not like the most beautiful thing in the world because it's, you know, chili and butternut squash noodles. This is what it looks like. If I were like really like making a meal, I would have cut up some cilantro. If I had sour cream, I could put that on top. Or if you like cheese, you could put cheese on it. But it's just me. Richard's not here. And I don't feel great. So it's like very, very simple tonight. So I wanted to show you what I did was I portioned it in half. There's the other half. This is what it looks like. This is like a standard like cereal bowl size. If you know Fiesta ware, then you know what size this bowl is. And it is, just trying to give you an idea of portion sizes. I would say it is solidly half full. So for today, that's fine because I'm not like dying of hunger or anything. But I have to say that on like a regular night when I was feeling fine and Richard were here, I would definitely want to serve this with like a nice salad to get some nice crunchy raw vegetables as a contrast to this like super cooked food, but also just like I'm gonna want to eat more food than this. Anyway, sorry I'm not showing you my face, but I can't switch them back and forth while I'm recording on the phone, so you just have to look at this steaming bowl of food. So yeah, here's the first meal down, the butternut squash noodles. I did give it a taste already. They taste good. They're butternut squash noodles. And I mean, my chili is great, so this does taste good. It doesn't look amazing. I will be putting more effort into the other meals, but I have to say, having the convenience of being able to just dump that bag of noodles or butternut squash noodles into the pan and cook them and add my stuff was really, really nice today. So that's a win for the Hungryroot side for convenience today for sure. All right, see you next time. Okay, super blend salad. Cook the same way as those butternut squash noodles, a little bit of olive oil in the pan, dump the bag in, it's super easy. You may notice that there is a random whole baby carrot. They got left in there by mistake. So I really enjoyed the super blend salad part of this. They have it paired with the chickpea pesto, which you'll see in just a moment. And I have to say, I did not like the chickpea pesto. And they have it used in multiple recipes. I only used about half of the chickpea pesto on this meal. And so could have saved that for the other recipe, but I did not like it. So I put it in the compost. So I said that this was fast and easy, which it was. I said that the satisfaction or portion size was average, which it is. I was eating by myself for this one, and so it was plenty for me. However, if Richard had been there, I definitely would have needed to add either something to it, fake chicken, chickpeas, something, or have like a salad on the side. But for me alone, it was a great portion. But the taste, it was just not good. The chickpea pesto is not for me. Okay, here is one of the best meals that we had from the box. Cauliflower rice, lemongrass, tofu nuggets, and the Thai peanut sauce. Those are all the Hungryroot items. And I did add a couple things to this. I added half a package of Corn brand fake chicken pieces, and also about half a packet of Wild Gardens prepared mujadara, which is a like rice and lentil mix, just to kind of pad things out a little bit because we were both eating and we were both very hungry and I wanted to make a lot of food. So I did, you can see. I did throw in some cherry tomatoes at the end just to add some color and a little bit of tomato-ness. They kind of disappeared into it. So here's what it looked like. Another not, I don't know, beautiful dish. It's a very Amberlyn Reed kind of meal where everything is just kind of in there and stewed together. I did top it with some sriracha, and I have to tell you, this was so good. Like, we loved it. We ate all of it. It was delicious. I would eat that again happily. Hello, I'm here to make a meal. So, shaved Brussels. I was wondering how the like already prepared veg would hold up over time, and so I just wanted to check in. So they say that their veggies can last for about a week, and that the sauces can last for about 2 weeks because they don't, have preservatives or whatever. So we are 1 week in with the package of prepared veg, and it's completely dry inside. It's not getting gross, so that's good. Now Brussels are pretty dry anyway, so I did make sure to eat like the butternut squash noodles first because I knew that those would be faster to turn. But yeah, these are looking good. These could definitely go for a few more days for sure, if not longer than that, but I'm going to eat them now. So here it is, all cooked up. I sauteed the Brussels sprouts in the olive oil until they had some areas where they were kind of browning, and then I added just a little bit of water to help kind of steam the thicker parts along. And then I stirred in the garlicky chickpea duo and let that cook for a minute or so, and then I stirred in the avocado crema, so that's what this is. And I haven't tried everything all together, but I did take a bite of the garlicky chickpea duo by itself, and it was really good. So I am optimistic about this one. All right, so I'll put it in a bowl and show you me taking a bite of the whole thing. Also, so this is the full serving, and so I think if I were gonna serve this for me and Richard, I would just add like maybe a little bit of something, but this did make like a pretty good amount, so that's good. Cherry chia maple oatmeal. I was pretty excited about this, though I did wait a long time to finally get to it. Here's the cooking instructions. Basically, it's half cup of either hot water or milk, and I did choose to make this with milk because I thought, hey, let's be as delicious as possible. But you can make this just with water. You can use, non-dairy milk, dairy milk, whatever. So I did heat up some milk, and then I have my half cup, and I'm pouring it into my little cup. I have to say, for one serving of oatmeal, this is very expensive. If all the items on average cost $5.80 that I received, that makes this a very expensive single serve oatmeal. It is very easy to make. It is very convenient. You can just take it with you, make it wherever. It made a reasonable amount. It wasn't tiny. It wasn't like too much. I feel like for the cost though, they could probably like give you more oatmeal. So it sat for 2 minutes with the hot milk. Here you can see me stirring it up. You can see, big chunks of dried cherry. And you can see it got thicker. Listen, this was delicious. This was some of the best, like instant or whatever oatmeal that I've ever had in my life. So that's something, but listen, the price of this is maybe not everyone's cup of tea. And here I'm just showing you the nutritional information in case you were curious. It does have 14 grams of sugar, which I'm guessing come from all the dried cherries because this wasn't actually that sweet, but it did have a good amount of the dried fruit in there, which I really liked, but something that you should know in case you are watching sugar. Okay, so finishing up the Hungryroot box. Tonight we're making spinach garlic chicken sausage, and I'm using the cucumber corn black bean salad. So Richard will get the sausage. I'm heating up some fake chicken patties to go on my salad. I made this salad that has a mix of, I don't know, a lot of things. There's cabbage, carrots, kale, spinach, cucumber, 2 kinds of tomatoes. And then to that I'm going to add the cucumber corn black bean salad, which smells really good. I haven't tasted it yet, but it smells like it has good flavor, which is nice. And then we'll top it with avocado and some of this avocado salsa verde that I made, which is really good as the dressing. All right, so this is the flatbread. I think it's called the sprouted wheat flatbread. Now they tell you to toast it by baking it in the oven, so I did that. And so it was, this is basically a flour tortilla. So now it's a crispy flour tortilla, and I've topped it with their hot smoked salmon, and it's, a smoked salmon is pretty salty, so I just broke it up into little pieces. I used like, I don't know, a very small portion of the 4 ounces, so it does go a long way. And then I decided to jazz it up with some capers, some yellow cherry tomatoes that I cut up, and just a little bit of pepper. So here we go. It looks good. I'm excited to eat this. And yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that anything would be wrong with this. I did go ahead and taste the salmon already. It's good. And it's been sitting around, for a while. This is one of the last things I'm eating from the box, and it's, perfectly good. But it's, smoked, which is a way of preserving food. So Anyway, I'm gonna eat this and it's gonna be delicious. All right. So our last items to eat are the plantain linguine and this green chili. Now, they have paired these together and you're supposed to eat it with the sausage. But I ate the well, Richard ate the sausage with something else. The noodles are currently cooking. They cook for 2 to 3 minutes. They've been in for almost 2 minutes now, so this video snippet is going to be fast. You just boil water. I added a little bit of salt because I always salt my pasta water, and they are bubbling away. You know, they cook fast like fresh noodles. So now, this green chili, you're supposed to pair it with these noodles, and that never sounded like great to me. And so I just opened this and tasted it. It is delicious. I would happily eat this many, many times, but I don't think that I want it on pasta. And so I have this jar of crushed tomatoes that I'm just going to make a quick sauce out of and use that for the pasta, and then I will eat this on something else. But I can tell you, it is really, really, really good. It's delicious. It's got a little bit of spice, a lot of flavor. I think it's going to be great with something else. Here we are. Sorry, all the steaminess. So I just pulled together a quick sauce with the crushed tomatoes, olive oil, salt, pepper, and basil oregano. I added some Quorn, Quorn brand fake beef crumbles. And just like, you know, very simple, very easy. Now I want to tell you, I am impressed with the structural integrity of these gluten-free noodles. I don't know if you have cooked many gluten-free noodles in your life, but they fall apart like nobody's business. And I was like, not like super rough with them, but I was not particularly gentle with them as I finished the noodles off in this sauce. And sure, there was breakage, but look at this. The majority of the noodles are still intact. That's amazing. I have a lot of experience with gluten-free noodles. I tasted them before the sauce was on there. There was like a faint whiff of like sea vegetable or seaweed or something, but with the sauce you can't taste it at all. So I would say this is a noodle for a robust sauce. This is not like a, oh, just put a little butter on it or salt and pepper and like, then whatever. Like, I don't know that that would be the greatest use of this. Anyway, so here's the portion size. This plus that jar of crushed tomatoes plus maybe a quarter of a bag of Quorn fake beef crumbles, and it's great for 2 people, no problem. Yeah, portion size looks really good for this. All right, well, we're gonna eat, and I think that's it. I'm back. I hope that you enjoyed that very thorough look into all those items. I did want to say that I did not get a photo or video of the black bean brownie batter, but it was super delicious. You can eat it raw. You can eat any of their like cookie doughs or brownie, whatever, raw, because it's vegan. It was good. I would make it, if I got it again, I would make it in a mini muffin tin because there's not a lot of batter, and so if you try to spread it out in a pan, it's like very thin, or unless you have like a really small pan, then you could make like a normal thickness of brownie. But I think like making little 2-bite brownies would be like the perfect use of that batter. So yeah, most everything was either good or very good in terms of taste, which was great because I was worried about like, how is this stuff going to taste? Because I know a lot of people do Hungryroot, like for a diet. I was like, is this going to be good? And really the only thing that I was like, absolutely not, was that chickpea pesto. It just wasn't good. It was not a pesto, and it was closer to like a basil hummus, but like also not delicious like a basil hummus could be. It was not great. I never want to eat that again. I would suggest you not to eat it, but if you'd like to try it, have at it. Enjoy yourself. But yeah, so in my, let's go according to the criteria. So the convenience and the ease factor. If you notice on all the criteria cards, like it was all fast and easy. It was great. So in terms of my highest priority, it knocked it out of the park. It was so good. Everything was so easy. Even the things that were like slightly more involved, like boiling the noodles or crisping the flatbread was like so easy. I loved that. And the flatbread, I made it harder on myself because I made it in the toaster oven instead of in the regular oven, where I could have done all of the flatbreads at the same time. Instead, I did it one by one in the toaster, which is not my smartest move ever. But yeah, everything was very easy and very quick, so that's great. I definitely noticed that for a number of lunches and for a number of dinners, when I did choose these items, I chose them because they were quick and easy. So that's great. That's like, you know, ticking that box. So that's really good to know. I would tell you, if the convenience factor or the ease of preparation is part of your interest in Hungryroot, it came through, like, for sure. So number 2 for me was about the feeling of satisfaction and the portion size. And I think most of those were like average, actually. Here are my final thoughts about the whole portion size and like satisfaction. I think if you are one person eating these foods, then eating them as is, or occasionally adding in an extra can of chickpeas or some chicken or tofu or whatever is good. I think if you are 2 people, then almost every time you're going to be adding in something else. And that's not necessarily like a terrible thing. It's not a deal breaker. It's just something you want to know going in, because weighing the cost versus the, you know, whatever portion size, you want to decide if that's cool for you. For me, I'm okay with that because I always have cans of beans. I always have like some kind of fake beef crumbles, fake chicken, I always have tofu, like whatever. I always have these things. Those are pantry staples for me, so it's very easy to just be like, oh, let me go grab one of like 5 things that I could add to this. So for me, that worked out. But if you don't normally keep those things on hand, then it would be something you would have to be sure to get those items to pad out the meals. Okay, and then taste. Like I said, most everything was either good or really good, except for the one thing which I never want to eat again. So I would say yay to taste. It makes me feel optimistic about the taste of other foods from them. Now this is, you know, just a sampling of things that I received from Hungryroot in this one box, and so the next box would have different items in it. But I am pleasantly surprised at how good everything tasted and how seasoned everything was. I thought for sure I was going to have to add lots of spices and seasonings or what have you, and I really didn't have to do that very much, so that's very cool. Yeah, it's very cool. It definitely adds to like the value and the quality of this box. And then the last thing on my list, of course, was cost. And so I did include on each criteria card before each food or each meal, how many of the items. So some items were like, it was just the one thing. And so it would be like, you know, $5.80 was the average price per item based on getting 17 items in a box. So some of it was just like $5.80, so then the price per person was $2.90. And like, I don't normally do all that. Like when I go grocery shopping and just like whatever, I don't sit there and figure out the cost like that per person. But I know that a lot of people do. For a lot of people, figuring out the cost per person is very important, and that's how you plan your meals and that's how you shop. So I'm trying to be very specific, or as specific as I can get. But then there were some meals like the shaved Brussels, avocado crema, and garlicky herb chickpea duo. That's 3 items, so that's $5.80 times 3. That all of a sudden gets very expensive, especially if, I don't know if you saw it, on that criteria card I wrote, it's ridiculous. The avocado crema is like a full item. It's dumb. And I just, you know, I came up with $5.80 just dividing the total number of items, you know, with the cost that we paid. And so maybe like in their whatever calculations, the avocado crema is not as expensive, but it doesn't really matter to me if that's how much I paid for the box, you know what I mean? So like, I feel like the crema should be like I don't know, either like a full tub so that I have a lot that I can use, or like honestly, like I would be happy to never get that avocado crema again because it didn't stand out. I would rather just cut up an avocado and put it on top. So that's another thing moving forward. I would say like don't send me that because to me it's not worth the money. I would rather just use that salsa verde that I made or an actual avocado. Okay. So yeah, so cost. And so some of these meals were much more expensive than others, and then I also factored into it the other items that it took to make that meal. So if I added fake chicken pieces, I calculated what is half a bag of that, and I just got the price based on the H-E-B website. And so, but I did notice, I think that the prices of my H-E-B are higher than what are shown on this H-E-B website, certainly for some of the things. So all that being said, if you want, you can go back and look at the criteria cards and see like how much each meal I said. So I did a total price per meal broken down into either how many $5.80 things there were plus anything else, like the chicken patties that I put in there, the corn pieces, the mujadara mix, the tomato sauce, those kind of things, and then the price per person. So we know how much the box was, $100. It took me 2 weeks to eat through it, but that's because I wasn't like eating it all the time. So I think that if I were to move forward with this, that I would want to get it every 2 weeks. I think that's a good timeline for me. I think that if it were every week, then it would be like, this is most of the food that I'm eating. And I don't want to eat this, you know, for like every meal. I like this as a convenience, like, hey, let's get this instead of ordering a pizza. Hey, let's get this instead of like going out to eat because we're tired. And so, yes, I want all the other foods that I like to make, the meals that I like to make that are maybe more complicated or just different. I want those most of the time because I do cook almost every day, whether it's for lunch or for dinner. But it's those times when we're tired, when we're running late, or when we don't have a lot of time, when we're just like, oh, screw it, like, let's just, or everything just feels like too hard. Like, I don't really feel like cooking or like working that hard. That's when we end up doing the eating out. Okay, so let's compare this to the grocery store, because I was like, this is cool, I really like this, but it is on the expensive side. So how much cheaper would it be to do this at the grocery store? Now, I recently went grocery shopping last week, and I didn't do like a full shop, but I did make sure to go through the veg section and look at their prepared vegetables, like their prepared, you know, veggie noodles or riced noodles, and see how much they were, and then kind of look at sauces. Because what I did is I bought some of those things, and then I also bought some sauces that I could use. Because basically Hungryroot boils down to some kind of prepared vegetables that are easy to cook and already ready, you don't have to prep them, and some kind of tasty, hopefully, sauce that goes on top of it. Sometimes there's another third thing. Usually it's just the two things. So I was like, can I just buy prepared veggies and sauces and like make my own little Hungryroot situation? So I went to the grocery store, and what I found was that the prepared vegetables ran from $3 to $6. Now, $3 if you could find the H-E-B or the store brand, and then the higher end, like $4.50 to $5.50 or so, would be the like name brand of prepared vegetables. Now, okay, so Hungryroot prices fit right in there, okay? So if you get the store brand, that's great, that's a way better deal, and I would say screw Hungryroot, but the store brand only had like riced cauliflower, and that may have been the only thing they had. Everything else was the name brand, so everything else was like about the same price as Hungryroot. And so I got a couple things, and there was a coupon for one of them, so that was good. And then I went to look for sauces. I got a basil pesto, I got a sun-dried tomato pesto, I got like a butter chicken, so Indian like simmer sauce that I could use for something. I got a shawarma seasoning sauce that I'm gonna marinate tofu in. And then that marinated tofu would be like my, you know, hot smoked salmon that I got with Hungryroot. So it's going to require some forethought from me to cut up the tofu, marinate it so that it's ready. But, you know, I tried to find the sauces that could work as that element. And it was not the easiest thing. And I did look in the deli, and they did have some, like, you know, black bean salad, whatever, you know, chickpea salad, stuff like that. I didn't end up getting any of those because I wasn't doing a full shop and I didn't want to get all the things. But so it is possible. You could get those kind of salads like I had from this box. You could get those. So you can get a lot of the things. The sauces were less easy to get because, or maybe I just don't know where to look for them, because that's not usually a thing that I typically buy. So, and this is maybe my problem, is that the convenience of like the Thai peanut sauce, I usually would just make that from scratch. I wouldn't buy it pre-made, so maybe I don't know where to look for it. That green chili, I would have just made that from scratch. I don't know where to find it in the grocery store. So maybe that's my learning curve that I need to figure out. But for me, I kind of struggled finding the sauces to go with the vegetables. So with the prices, I would say, obviously it's going to be cheaper to get all this stuff at the grocery store. You have to know where to find it, which is fine, because once you know, then you know. There's just a learning curve. And you have to remember to get them. That's one of the things. And some of it is going to require prep, like the marinating tofu. And there's probably other things like that. Or thawing out seafood, or, you know, like whatever, if you buy frozen. And so, and you have to go get it. You have to physically go and do it. And I know a lot of people are really busy. They don't grocery shop that often. We go like every 2 or 3 weeks. And so depending, like these veggie, like prepared veggie noodles and rice stuff, like it's not going to last that long. So you're going to have to go more frequently. So there's a trade-off there. The convenience of having it delivered to your house every week, every 2 weeks, whatever, versus having to make time to go to the grocery store. And so some people have more time, some people have less time. Also, think about the energy that it takes. For me, it's not so much about time, but it's about the capacity that I have. So I have chronic illness, and I have multiple chronic illnesses, and one of the symptoms for both of those is chronic fatigue. I'm just tired a lot of the time. Like, it takes it out of me. And so sometimes having to go to the grocery store is like, number one, the one thing that I can do that day, and it is going to ruin me. So that's not the case. If you don't deal with fatigue, then that's not factored into your decision. But for me, I really have to factor that into my decision, because I don't always have the spoons to go to the store and to deal with all this. So I think overall, honestly, like if this particular brand of plant-based, super prepared already, easy to make food appeals to you, and I mean, it's so personal. So like, let me speak for myself. I think for me, this brand of super prepared, vegetable, whatever, plant-based food that is easy to make, that comes to my door, that I can just do like online and say, don't send this, please send this, or whatever. I think that is worth the money for me. Just like all the costs, like both financial costs, energetic cost, introvert cost of having to like go to the grocery store and there's all these people and people run into you. It's awful, because we always go at the worst times. I think for me, like every 2 weeks, it might actually be worth it. I think we're going to try it again. Not as an every week kind of thing, like I'm saying. I think every other week would be good. I want to try it again, basically. Get some different products and see if I like them as much as I like the ones that I like here. And then go from there. Am I going to use this forever? Probably not, you know. But could it be a helpful addition to our, whatever, eating life? Yeah, I think so. I think that I'm going to try harder to pick up, when we do go to the grocery store, things that are good pantry staples to help me pull meals together easily. So like I did this last time, I did buy those veggies. But I'm thinking really of like having things on hand that are sauces that are ready to go. Having things on hand that are maybe frozen, that are easy to throw in a pan and cook. Maybe taking the spirit of Hungryroot and applying it to the way that we shop. Actually, I think that's really what's going to happen first, is trying to take the spirit of that and apply it to the way that we shop and cook and live. And then if that doesn't go super well, maybe trying Hungryroot again, because ultimately I like it. I can't believe it. I really didn't expect to like it this much, but I do. As long as I don't get more things that taste like the chickpea pesto, everything is going to be okay. Anyway, this is very long, I know. If you have hung in here this whole time, God bless you. I hope this was interesting to you. If you did hang in here, I'm thinking it's because this is interesting to you. So please leave comments below if you have questions or comments about the things that I said, or the figures, or the costs, or how things tasted, or cooking, or whatever. Like, leave your comments below. I would love to hear them. I'm happy to answer them. This whole video is so stupid. I took a real deep dive into Hungryroot, y'all. Okay, well, please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. Please come and become a patron through my Patreon page. If you would like to support me and the work that I do in body positivity and yoga and general healing in this world, it would be much appreciated. The link is below in the description box. I hope you're having a great day. I hope that you're feeling loved and supported, and if you're not, please know, for real, that I love and support you, and I'm sending you so many good vibes and so much love, and you're really important. Thank you very much. I'll see you all next time. Bye.